Darkstar 1, released in 2006. This one is kind of a future space war trading simulator, where you pilot a spaceship and adventure around the galaxy, having space battles and trading stuff. Now, other than some Super Nintendo games like Wing Commander, I really haven't had much experience in these type of games, so it should be kind of neat to check this out. So the plot here is you play as Crayon? I think his name is Crayon? He kind of looks like Nathan Drake. So he's in the Galactic Space Forces and his father was killed. But his dad did leave him a very special ship, the Darkstar 1, which is kind of a organic prototype ship thing. So you take the ship, try to solve the mystery of your father's death, and have to stop an alien invasion of the Galactic Union. Now this game has a lot of buttons, along with the direction and combat controls. I believe there's about 17 other buttons. This was a bit overwhelming at first, but over time I got used to it and appreciated the large options. It really gives you a simulator feeling of piloting a fictitious spaceship. The galaxy is divided into territories. You can pretty much travel to any of these planets and clusters in these territories. So it's not completely linear, but you are restricted from exploring further without completing the main story. So yeah, it's not linear, but it's not really an open world game either. Each area has a space station, which is usually your destination in the area. There's a lot of space traffic in the areas. You're shown the neutral ships, the enemy ships, and the points of interest in the area too. You can also be a good guy, bad guy in this game. You can attack neutral vessels and try to steal their cargo, for instance. But if the space police in the area catch you, you're probably going to get killed. This has a star rating criminal type system, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, and it lasts this ridiculous amount of time. The impact of being a criminal is really steep. The police hang around all the space stations, for instance, and they won't let you on a space station if you have a criminal record. So you can play the bad guy, but it hinders the progression in this game way too much to be worth it. I chose instead to fight pirates. There's very little consequence for doing so. You kill them and maybe they'll show up more to get revenge, but that's about it. So that was a bit of an issue. The balancing of being good and evil was just too much in good's favor. On the space stations, you can get story missions, escort quests, bounties, and other means of making money. The trading in this is very simple. You buy something on a station they have a lot of, then you haul your cargo to another section and sell it for profit, if there's a demand for that product there. Some sectors do ban certain goods, so if you can get by their police ship scans and get to the station, you'll make even more money, but not only is this cargo hauling boring, the amount of profit versus time doesn't really seem to be worth it. You're better off doing bounty hunter missions or freeing pirate-controlled sectors. These are pretty much a lot funner, mainly because of the action. And speaking of action, wow, this game's combat is so fun. You'll be battling several fighters at one time, chasing them with afterburners or slowing down to make them go in front of you. Some enemies are equipped with special weapons like cloaking devices. Some enemy gangs have bosses. You'll be attacking giant space cruisers. And at other points, teaming up with a large group of other ships to participate in these massive space battles. And what appears to be a very simple space battle can change almost instantly if your shields are knocked down. So it stays exciting the whole time. It's just an absolute blast. The types of weapons in this game is a little repetitive though. It's a lot of the same gun with just a different class level. You can buy these at space stations, or once in a while an enemy might even drop a secret weapon for you.
Looks as if the boss has lost something.
Items are also available. You can attach these to your ship, and sometimes some great effects happen, such as transferring weapons and shield energy back and forth during a battle. It's some pretty cool stuff actually. Over time, you can also upgrade your ship. It has 3 sections choosable to upgrade, like the hull, wings, and engines. And each have their own part to play. Upgrading the hull is your hit points, and also determines how many rotating gun turrets you can put on your ship. Upgrading the wings will have an effect on the amount of front guns you have and your maneuverability. So do choose wisely, it will have a heavy effect on combat. To upgrade your ship though, it's not through XP, you have to travel to these asteroids and get this green gem. There's a couple of these areas in each sector, and you have to usually get a few of these gems for the upgrade. Of course, since the sector is cut off, unfortunately you can only upgrade at the game's pace. But this does keep you from getting too strong too fast. The story itself is alright, I guess. You team up with this smuggler girl who has her own mysterious past to her. The plot slowly unravels about the mystery of your father's death, and you do meet these various aliens of the Galactic Union. The races have their own cultures and their struggles too. And that's all kind of interesting too, but you know, it is kind of hard to take the serious story serious when the aliens look like Gary the Snail from SpongeBob. Unfortunately, I wasn't interested enough in the story to be invested or heavily intrigued by it. So yeah, it was all right, but nothing great. Now, the absolute biggest flaw to this game is its repetitiveness. Now, you see all these stars, you can go to every one of them, but every one of them is the exact same. You're pretty much in this sphere with a space station, an asteroid, a couple ships, and a science station. This is pretty much every single place you're going to go to. They're going to be exactly the same. The graphics change a little bit, but it's pretty much the same every single time. There's nothing to explore outside the sphere either, it's just endless space. So having all the areas the same, it kept it consistent and non-confusing, I'll give it that. But I don't know, it just made me feel that I really wasn't in some giant space galaxy. All the areas just felt like fish bowls. Just giant floating fish bowls in space. And even though the combat is fun, it is always the same thing over and over. You'll go on the same bounty hunter mission types. You're always attacked by pirates, never anyone else. And there are a few exceptions that appear in the game with a battle on a planet or a turret section, but pretty much the variety the game does offer just repeats too often. It simply doesn't work in a game of this size and this scope. It's just really too noticeable. So overall, Darkstar 1 has a boring trade mechanic, a less than stellar story, a universe full of fish bowls, over-repetitive side quests and main story missions, and its little variation from weapons to exploration really disappoints. But, oh man, is the combat in this so fun. This is the reason to check this one out. It's absolutely addicting, and it hooked me, and I couldn't stop, despite all the other game's shortcomings. I will say though that without the other game elements, the combat probably wouldn't have been as cool as it was. By being able to upgrade your weapons and ships over time, you get that sense of strength when you have troubles with enemies at first and then dominate them after your upgrade. So yes, the other elements of this game do factor into the fun of the main combat, yeah. So if you're looking for a really good space trading sim with an open universe to explore, I'm probably going to have to say this really isn't that. But if you want a great space combat simulator with a bit of role-playing game weight to it, I think Darkstar 1 did it pretty good. Thanks for watching.